Hello and welcome to The Social Connection. It's your program about social media news, the trends you talked about, the videos you shared, and what new changes social media companies offer its users. I am Nancy Kohli and with me is Preeti Tiwari.
Thank you, Nancy. Welcome everyone. We are back with yet another edition in which we'll take you through the top trends, latest news and everything that kept the social media platform busy. But first up, let's take a look at what we have in store for you in this edition.
Google CEO Sundar Pichai lauds India's startup culture.
India extends support to Google's Internet Saathi project.
Facebook's Photo Magic sharing is now rolling out to all users. The company also introduced transportation on Messenger.
Let's start with the top stories now. Lauding the fast-growing startup industry in India, Google CEO Sundar Pichai says the country has a unique opportunity for young entrepreneurs. Pichai also pledges to use India as a testing ground for its products as the US tech giant targets hundreds of millions of consumers in the developing world, set to move online in the next few years. More details in this report.
Lauding the fast-growing startup industry in India, Google CEO Sundar Pichai on Thursday said that the country had a unique opportunity for young entrepreneurs. Interacting with the students of a leading college in New Delhi, Pichai called on young entrepreneurs to tackle the obstacles in their way and build a stronger India.
Every year or 2 years, whenever I make these trips back here, I've always been waiting for this change in India. It was only when I came last year, I felt it very viscerally that, the startup culture had really taken hold here. It's incredible to see.
Also on Wednesday, Sundar Pichai pledged to use India as a testing ground for its products as the US tech giant targets hundreds of millions of consumers in the developing world set to move online in the next few years. Pichai cited user-generated maps and a version of YouTube that allows consumers with limited internet access to store videos offline as two recent examples of products developed in India that have since been rolled out to other countries. With internet penetration already topping more than 90% in many developed markets, Google is increasingly betting on large developing countries like India as a future source of growth. Pichai explained how Google aimed to take internet to people who do not understand English.
To really help users consume content which is not in English, we are working hard on Google Translate as well. It gets used a lot in India. We make Google Translate better by using real computer science, but we have learned for places like India, leveraging the local community helps make the product much better. We recently had a big marathon, we call it a Translate-a-thon in India, where we had 20,000 volunteers contribute translations. And we translated over 1 million new Hindi words.
Google expects more than 500 million Indians to be online by 2018, up from around 300 million today. But Pichai said that their focus will be more on connecting rural people, especially women, as the number of women using internet was still poor.
Talking about rural areas, it's striking that in rural areas, even though there is connectivity in many areas, there are certain segments of the population which don't get access to it, women in particular. Less than 1/3 of internet users in India are women, and the number is far lower in rural areas.
He said the company would train 2 million Indian developers for its Android operating system by 2019 and expand its campus in southern Hyderabad city to get more people online. In a statement, Google said there are likely to be more users of Google's Android software in India than in the United States next year.
Next up, India extends its support to Google's Internet Saathi project, in which the internet giant intends to educate rural women about the cyberspace. While Google expects more than 500 million Indians to be online by 2018, that's up from 300 million today. Here's a report.
India on Wednesday extended its support to Google's Internet Saathi project, in which the internet giant intends to educate rural women about the cyberspace. Google CEO Sundar Pichai met India's IT and Telecom Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad in New Delhi and discussed about the project where internet cycle cards would be used to reach the women and teach them the basic benefits of using internet.
I've directed my department in the IT that let them partner with our common service centers also to make the spread of this Internet Saathi program on a bicycle to reach internet, training, etc. in the rural part of India.
Google's Internet Saathi project intends to educate Indian women, especially in the rural areas, about cyberspace.
As the minister indicated, we are very, very focused on bringing Google's products to many more Indian languages, and we are focused on the top 10 Indic languages so that we can reach 1 billion users.
Under the program, Internet cycle cards would be used to reach the women and teach them the basic benefits of using Internet. Google is also working on increasing the number of local languages available on its virtual keyboard to target non-English speakers. In a recent event held in India, Google has translated 1 million new Hindi words. Pichai also spoke about Indian Railways' collaboration with Google to provide Wi-Fi services at 400 railway stations across the country.
We are very excited about the public Wi-Fi project. It's the largest public Wi-Fi undertaking in the world, because the 400 railway stations which we are working on, each day will get over 10 million passengers. And we are talking about real high-speed connectivity through Wi-Fi, so you can watch your favorite Bollywood videos in high definition.
Sundar Pichai met President Pranab Mukherjee and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday to discuss government's Digital India initiative. Google may be looking to push its Project Loon to take forward Digital India program. After meeting Prime Minister Modi, Pichai called on the President and other top industrialists from the country in a roundtable discussion on technology, innovation and education at the presidential residence, Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Social media giant Facebook is trying to squeeze some useful new features into Messenger before 2015 comes to a close. The company announced that Photo Magic is rolling out widely to users everywhere. Also, the company is expanding the Messenger services with the launch of a new feature on transportation. More in this report.
Facebook is trying to make it easier to send photos as the holiday season's picture-taking frenzy escalates with the arrival of Christmas and New Year's Eve. The world's largest social networking service is offering a feature called Photo Magic that will automatically address a message so it can be sent quickly to Facebook friends identified in a picture. The option relies on the same image recognition technology that attaches people's names to Facebook posts. With this twist, Facebook is deploying the technology in its Messenger application to make it more convenient to distribute pictures to a few friends and family members. Facebook will highlight Photo Magic in a Messenger update that will start rolling out this week to users of Apple's iPhone and smartphones running on Google's Android software. It will still be up to each individual to decide whether they want to activate Photo Magic or not. After the feature is turned on, it can still be switched off at any time. In Facebook's first foray in the transportation business, the firm has agreed to work with Uber to allow users to hail Uber cabs directly from the Messenger app. The new service means Messenger users will be able to ask for an Uber vehicle without leaving the Facebook software. Users will not need to download the Uber app separately. The companies announced their new feature via separate blogs. Facebook has some 1.5 billion users globally, and Uber is the world's biggest driver-hailing app in terms of financing.
We are heading for a short commercial break at the moment, but we have lots of interesting stories coming up ahead. Stay tuned and keep watching Doordarshan News.
Now the national news channel of India, live on your mobile phone. Get the news on the go. Watch top videos, get the latest news and continuous news on your mobile phone. Download DD News app now. Visit the Android Play Store, search for DD News, download the app to your phone. Get the power of information at your fingertips. DD News. Only news, complete news.
हर दिन बदलती खबरें, हर पल बनती नई सुर्खियां, खबरों की रफ्तार के साथ हर दोपहर दुनिया की ताजा तस्वीर, दोपहर समाचार रोजाना 2 बजे सिर्फ डीडी न्यूज पर।
Welcome back to The Social Connection. You must be familiar with the top trending topics of the week, but here's a quick wrap of the trends that rule different social media platforms.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the combined commanders conference of the 3 services on board aircraft carrier INS Vikramaditya off the Kochi coast in Kerala. PM Modi inspected Tri-Services Guard of Honor at Naval Air Station INS Garuda before arriving on board INS Vikramaditya, where he was received by the 3 service chiefs, Army Chief General Dalbir Singh Suhag, Chief of Naval Staff Admiral R.K. Dhawan, and Chief of Air Staff Marshal Arup Raha. This remained trending topics of this week. After the conference, PM Modi witnessed an operational demonstration of India's naval and maritime air capabilities. It was a proud moment for India. Missionaries of Charity, founded by Mother Teresa, hailed that the Nobel laureate will be made a saint of the Roman Catholic Church next year. Pope Francis cleared the way for her sainthood by proving a decree recognizing a miracle attributed to her intercession with God. The news was shared and talked much online. The second miracle attributed to the intercession of Mother Teresa, which is required for canonization, involved the inexplicable healing of a Brazilian man who was suffering from multiple brain tumors, according to Catholic media reports. Known as the Saint of the Gutters, the diminutive nun is expected to be canonized in early September 2016. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee tweeted, "My best wishes to missionaries of charity on this joyous occasion." The juvenile of the December 16 Delhi gang rape case was again in the news on the anniversary of this incident. Delhi court this week ordered the release of the juvenile convict in the horrific Delhi gang rape case, rejecting the government's plea seeking extension of the custody of the convict. However, he was later shifted to an undisclosed location. The juvenile convict, known to have been the most brutal of the 6 accused, was tried as a juvenile as he was 17 at the time of the attack. The juvenile convict, now an adult, is scheduled to be released this week on December 20th. Meanwhile, the father of Delhi gang rape victim said he was pained by the court's verdict. It's the Star Wars celebrations again. Celebrities walked the red carpet this week ahead of the long-awaited premiere of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, the latest chapter in the science fiction epic franchise. The red carpet event, which has taken on a Super Bowl or an Oscar-like feel, stretches more than 4 blocks and will include screenings at 3 theaters along the boulevard. Part of the buzz surrounding the film is that the new movie brings characters like Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia and Han Solo back to their galaxy far, far away. The film opens nationwide in theaters on December 17th. It remained a talking point globally.
Are you interested in tracking Santa? Well, there's an app for that now. Anyone interested in tracking Santa's journey from the North Pole to homes across the world can go on the internet or a cell phone. The apps work with Windows, Apple and Google Play devices, and the website is available in 8 languages. Take a look at this report.
At a high-security facility in Colorado, military personnel are preparing their radar, satellites and surveillance aircraft to track Santa Claus's annual journey from the North Pole to deliver presents to homes around the world. Each December, the North American Aerospace Defense Command turns its vast military resources to keep tabs on the most anticipated visit of the season. Children and civilians can also keep an eye on Santa's progress through NORAD's website www.noradsanta.org and a special NORAD Santa application available for use on tablets and smartphones. NORAD says the apps work with Windows, Apple's and Google Play devices. The website is available in 8 languages: English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Japanese, Portuguese and Chinese.
Users who go either to the website or to the mobile app will see a Santa tracking map using Bing Maps, and they can go either 2D or 3D and see the Azure system there, and we will be tracking Santa throughout the day on December 24th into the early hours of December 25th. And users can see where Santa stops along different locations in the world. Of course, we can't show every single one of Santa's stops, but we do show a lot of those around the world. In every single country, we have one of our radars or our satellites or fighter aircraft or our Santa cameras picking up Santa's location.
Less tech-friendly folks can also still call NORAD Santa Track Operations Center, which will be manned by military personnel and volunteers around the clock on 24th December. Asked whether Santa has a preferred route, North said he often begins his journey in Australia or New Zealand.
He typically does start in the Eastern Hemisphere since the night hours are there, before they come over to the Western Hemisphere. So he always starts in the Eastern Hemisphere and typically somewhere around New Zealand or Australia. And then he makes his way west, following the night sky as he goes around the world and does his flight for about 24 hours.
Further, North said anyone hoping to get a glimpse of the famously jolly fellow should make sure they get to bed early on Christmas Eve.
And they will all be taking calls from around the world, from children and adults alike, asking where Santa's at and wanting to know when he might get to their home. Because, if you're not in bed when Santa stops at your house, he won't stop at your house if you're not in bed and asleep. He'll go on by. So you got to be in bed and asleep.
This is the 60th year NORAD will track Santa's journey. The tradition began with a misprint in a 1955 advertisement that directed children to call Santa direct. The number listed turned out to be the command center for NORAD's predecessor, the Continental Air Defense Command Operations Center.
Well, don't go anywhere as we are heading for a short commercial break. We have another lot of interesting stories coming up. Stay tuned to DD News.
सुबह का सही आगाज ताजा खबरों के साथ सुर्खियों के आईने से देश विदेश की सही तस्वीर और दिन के हर पहलू पर नजर। नया सवेरा सोमवार से शुक्रवार सुबह 7 बजे सिर्फ डीडी न्यूज पर।
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज की रेस से हटकर
खबरें कुछ अच्छी भी हैं,
खबरें जो बढ़ाएंगी हौसला और विश्वास,
उम्मीद भरी खबरें जो लाएंगी मुस्कान। गुड न्यूज इंडिया।
Now the national news channel of India, live on your mobile phone. Get the news on the go. Watch top videos, get the latest news and continuous news on your mobile phone. Download DD News app now. Visit the Android Play Store, search for DD News, download the app to your phone. Get the power of information at your fingertips. DD News. Only news, complete news.
Welcome back to the Social Connection. Germany's Justice Minister and Facebook's Director of Policy say that they aim to delete punishable hate speech distributed on social networks within 24 hours. The European head of Facebook is under investigation in Germany over the social network's alleged failure to remove racist hate speech. More details in this report.
Germany's Justice Minister reiterated on Tuesday to work with Facebook to thwart racist and hate posts, acting on worries about a rise of xenophobic comments in German on social media linked to Europe's refugee crisis. Justice Minister Heiko Maas first met with Facebook and other social networks and internet service providers last September with the aim of identifying criminal posts more quickly and removing them.
Wir sind uns in der
Every time the boundaries of freedom of opinion are overstepped, where punishable remarks or hate speeches are made, where there is public encouragement to commit crimes or where people are threatened, such content must disappear from the net.
Volksverhetzung.
Justice Minister said that participants of the meeting had agreed that generally this should be possible within 24 hours. Ahead of the first talks in September, Ma had written to Facebook Public Policy Director Richard Allen in Dublin, saying he had received complaints from users that their protests about racist posts had been ignored.
But we also recognise that a minority can abuse the tools that we've developed and use them for purposes that are harmful to society. When that happens, we found that the solutions are not purely technical. There are things that we need to do. But really, to get to the heart of the problem, we need to work with other companies who often have great technical ideas, with governments who have the full force of the law and are able to deal with the kind of extreme behaviour that only criminal prosecution will resolve, and with experts in civil society who often are the people who know best how to challenge and resolve the underlying social concerns that often cause that abusive behaviour.
The European head of Facebook is under investigation in Germany over the social network's alleged failure to remove racist hate speech. The investigation was announced last month as German politicians and celebrities voiced concern about the rise of anti-foreigner comments in German on Facebook and other social media as the country struggles to cope with the refugee influx.
Well, it's time to see all the feedback that you sent in on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube.
Well, this is the end of our show, but continue sending in your feedback, comments as you have been on ddnews.com, at gmail.com, or on a Twitter handle, ddnews live, our Facebook page, or on a YouTube channel.
Well, yes, we hope that you enjoyed the show as much as we did in presenting it to you. And before we sign off, we leave you with an interesting video. See you again next week. Thank you. Goodbye.
مالوفا وأسد لها بخست أمريكان هات نكون دفاع كنت ما مابر كوباري وتلا أبيض راجع قرار أما هات المخانة البر أواب كرا الخانة اللي كرا نمدور ششمها كي تويا رونشتن هجار إيشي لهاتم إيشي وكرمان جلها بخست كنت مجل بار حدود تركيا لها بخست أمريكان حدود در وسط تركيا سفيا كيبل ولا حلب سفيا كيبل هذا قلت مكتبة سفيا كيبل طبعا يخاندي غندا يخاندي فعم دكي باقلا تشتازونه بس إن خاندي يعني حاشي حاضر الدنيا حيوانات خاطر لا نزانه شيء بس خاندي ثقافة جامعة
सुर्खियों की भीड़ में अहम खबरें, असल मुद्दे जो डालते हैं आपकी जिंदगी पर असर। दिन भर की हर बड़ी खबर का बेबाक विश्लेषण, सच, सटीक, संपूर्ण। न्यूज नाइट, सोमवार से शुक्रवार रात 8 से 10 बजे सिर्फ डीडी न्यूज पर। तस्वीरें जो बयां करती हैं हकीकत, हालात जिनसे जुड़े हैं आपके जज्बात, जुनून जो बदल सकता है देश की तस्वीर, खबरें जो आपके लिए जानना है जरूरी। खबर दिन भर हर शाम 5 बजे सिर्फ डीडी न्यूज पर।